All right, fifth graders, how you doing? It's Friday, March 20th. You just have one assignment for today. It's just a small quiz on converting fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions, and then some of the decimal division problems that we've been working on this week. Um, I'm just going to go over this quickly, what's on the quiz. So you're going to have problems where you're going to have to take a fraction and convert it into a decimal. So one way to look at this, if you want to use a calculator, is 1/4 is the same as 1 divided by 4 on the calculator. And you'll see that comes out to be 0.25. Another way you can look at this problem when you think of 1/4 is 1/4, right? This is 1/4 is the same as 1/4, and a 1/4 is worth 25 cents. So that's another way to do it. But the easiest way to do all your fractions is just to make it like a dividing problem. So that little slash is divided by. So this is 1 divided by 4. If it was 7/10, it's 7 divided by 10, which would give you 0.7. All right, now when you're going the other way, when you're going from a decimal to a fraction, 0.75. So if you think of that as 75 cents, how many quarters is 75 cents? It would be 3/4, 3/4, right? 0.5 or 50 cents would be 1/2, and so forth. All right, so I think also, these are easy things to look in your notebooks if you brought those home, because I believe we did these before. So first part is fractions to decimals, then decimals to fractions. Then the main part of the quiz is going to be solving some of the division problems we've been working on this week. So I'm just going to go over the types of ones that we've been doing. So here is the decimal 7.4 divided by 0.1, which is the same as 1/10. Remember, when you divide by 1/10, it's the same as saying 7.4 times 10, right? Same thing with this one. 7.4 divided by 0.01 is 1/100th. This is the same thing as doing 7.4 times 100. Okay? Then when you multiply 7.4 times 10, you get 74. And remember the trick, I believe we had a video on it this week. You can just take the decimal point and move it one spot to the right. And remember, it's got to be to the right because you're multiplying by 10, which means that decimal number is going from 7 ones to 74. You want it to get bigger by 10. Same thing with 7.4 times 100. This is going to end up being 740. You can see that this number is 10 times bigger than this number, right? Because 100 is 10 times bigger than 10. So 7.4 times 100, you're going to take the decimal point and you're going to move it 2 spots to the right, because 100 has 2 zeros in it. That's a good way to remember it. 10 has 1 zero in it. You move it 1 spot to the right. 100 has 2 zeros. You move it 2 spots to the right. And of course, in that blank spot right there, after you move it from the 4, you got to add the 0. Okay? The second types of problems are the ones where it's not just 1/10 or 100th, but there's actually a whole number here, which is 6/10 or 6/100ths. So the best way to think about it is when I don't see the ones there and I want to change this to a problem that's easier to solve, I can take both sides, right, and move it 1 spot to the right, because we're dealing with tenths. This is 6/10. And now I have this problem is 36 divided by 6. And my answer is 6. So when I see the ones here, I can do it this way. When I see another number here, then I can do it this way. Okay? So again, because this is 6/10, I'm moving each decimal on both of these 1 spot to the right. So 3.6 becomes 36, and 6/10 becomes 6, and then 36 divided by 6 is 6. That's your answer. Same thing with this one, except this is 6/100ths. So we're going to move this one spot 2 spots. We're going to move each of the sides 2 spots. 1, 2 spots. And we're going to end up with 360 divided by 6. All right, so because this is hundredths, not tenths, we're going to move the decimal 2 spots to the right, and then by the same token, we're going to move the other one 2 spots to the right. So the 3.6 becomes 360 because I moved it 1 spot, and then the 2 spot here, the zero's got to go there. And now 36 divided by 6 is 6. 360 divided by 6 is 60. They're basically the same answers, just that one's 10 times more than the other, because one's hundredths and one's tenths. The last thing that you're going to see on your quiz is a word problem. Without giving it away, you can see basically what are we doing here this whole week. Are we multiplying? Are we dividing? Right? What do you see mostly here? That's a hint to what you're going to do with the word problem. So read the word problem carefully, pick out the 2 most important numbers and figure out what you have to do with them. And then if you know how to do all this, you should have no problem with the word problem. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Don't forget to do your 45 minutes of iReady. Stay healthy, and I will see you on Monday.